guys are here. Cool. Are you ready? Can we start? Just type in there. C. Okay. Okay. I'll. Just give me a second. Okay. I'll start by showing you the process of. I'm not going to show you the first one because I don't know where the first one was because it was some time ago. To see what I was thinking during the trading journal process, and then I'll end showing you my journal for next year and how I want to connect all trades, all months. So this was my first trading journal. It was kind of simple. I had the date, time, the pair, the lots, the risk in euros that I was trading with, the wins, the losses, and these were numbers that I would put in. This is automatic date, but the risk was also I would put in the risk that that trade was taking, and everything here was a drop-down menu, and this was my checklist. At some point I had a physical checklist on a notepad, and then I started putting the checklist on the Excel. So I had basically three areas. One was the trade, risk, and results area. Then was the checklist area, and then was the overall results. So these were three areas of my trading journal that you're gonna see later. I still use them, though they're more complex now. This was about a year ago. Then it changed. I started adapting my strategy. I started also thinking that I needed more automatic cells. Like I would put the entry, the stop loss, and it would give me the risk automatically. This is not very accurate because I trade 28 pairs, so I need 28 ratios, and I need to be changing that every day or every month or every week to keep the rate accurate. But I just use $10, and I'll be okay in some pairs. I'll be with less risk on other pairs, and some the risk will be a little higher, but it's so that I have an idea. I don't need to go to the cents to have like every euro or every cent accounted for on my risk. So I started, this is a work in progress still. I started putting some automatic cells like the pips. Then the pips would give me the risk times the lot. Pips times the lot would give me the risk. All my strategy thing here. I had correlations as well to see what pair was correlated to this. Then by March I had more stuff. I had some notes here on entry during the trade and on exit. At the beginning, I record images here. They're not linked to the images. I'd record the MT4 chart on entry and on exit. That took a lot of organizing. I had to organize them by date and name, and I could always come here and press and see what I was looking at when I got in the end of the trade. But by March, instead of the images, I'd link to the TradingView chart, and I'd see why I went in. It's loading the chart. This was one that went wrong 9 months ago. It was a very different strategy that I have now, but by linking the reason you go in, you can always go back and see what happened, what was I seeing when I went into a trade, and what happened. This is actually the same link on then by November, I had this more or less working. This is the strategy I work with now. So I have the date, I have the pair, and these are all, most of them are drop-down menus. The ones that are not. I'm going to just copy this and I'll erase this so you guys can see. Okay, as you're gonna see in a couple of minutes, I have these colored columns that are the ones that are locked, and I cannot write anything into them except this one because it changes. But these are automatic ones, and the rest are drop-down menus. So the thing I have now is the same three areas. I have the trade area, I have the checklist area, and the results area. One thing that I had to do manually first, but now I got it to be automatic, was the risk. For next year, I'm gonna have a crazy Excel spreadsheet. That's this one, and I'm working with two brokers, and according to each broker has its own leverage, and according to each broker, the values will go either into this one or into this one. So as I said before, these are automatic. These are automatic. This is automatic. These are all automatic, and the rest are drop-down menus, except for these values that you got to put them. So I'll do an example here. So let's imagine I was going into a trade today at any time. At this time, the pair would be, let's say, Euro USD. So by now I have a yellow line. It's basically saying you gotta put in more values, and until I put in the trigger here, it's not gonna be finished. So I put in the lots, for example. I put it if it's long or short. I have a couple of I have limit orders, market orders, and when it's cancelled. When it's cancelled, it turns into black. I usually use limits. Now let's see. Imagining I would go with 1 to 100 on Ayondo. Let's do another one, like a short one, another day. On any other pair. Now I'm going to put short. When I put short here, and the values, you're going to see this thing will turn into red, because green is up and red is down in this trade. Let's put 400 on active, and it's the other one I use. It's still with the red line over, and it's because I don't have the triggers yet. So let's see. Imagining this, I had this is the strategy part. So I had a long trend on the daily. I had a wave count. I was trying to enter the wave 3 of wave 1 of 3, for example. I had a candlestick, like an inverted hammer, for example. Somewhere here. Inverted hammer on the daily. And I'm counting here the confluences, the amount of items that are suggesting me to go in a way, in long or short. And this counts the cells that are that have values, and this is my rating. So the more things are put in here, the best the rating is. So now imagining we have what looks to be a wave 1 wave 1 of 3 start. We had an inverted hammer on the daily, hitting some Fibonacci, for example, and it could have a correction. So we could there could be divergence. So we just went into 3 stars. Divergence on the 4 hours, for example. I had an ABC move, just creating a trade. The ABC is here. And also I've got a PRZ somewhere here. Volume was decreasing, and so on. So, and then I got the trigger, and until I put the trigger, this underlined here doesn't disappear. So let's say I went long at 1.05. My stop would be at 1.04, and instantly I got 100 risk, 100 pips risk, which times 0.1 lots, it's 100 euros risk, more or less. And then I put my take profit at one, let's keep it simple, 106, 07. Okay, this is what I, and then I go to my trading view thing, and I'll copy the link, and I'll put it here. Sometimes besides the link I'll write some stuff here. So this is after putting in the trigger, break of high or something. I got all green lines. This is my open trade. So I know my risk is by now it's 16%, but it's over the overall value. Should change this, or maybe not. And when I put in this value, imagine either even if I'm winning or losing, when I put in this value, this risk will disappear because the trade was closed. So if I put here 1.055, the risk goes to 0 because the trade was closed. Another interesting thing here is when I put in these values, for some reason I wasn't on the 0, but on the start. But when I put in these values, I get this ratio, and then on the overall I'll get an overall ratio. So if for some reason I fill in this area here and I see it's 1-to-1, like this, and according to my plan, I don't trade that one. I trade at least 1-to-3. So this is important to me. It's what tells me to go in or not. And let's try and do the short again. Like there was a trend on the 4 hours, and I just put something here. Okay, so on this simulated trade, I only had 2 rating stars by now. I could go in or not, so let's imagine the okay, this okay, so I have a 1-to-3 ratio on this one and 1-to-2 on this one, and I put in the link there. I also have 2 extra columns to put my notes during the trade on exit, and this will give me the graph on each broker according to a lot of hidden columns that have other values. So let's imagine we trail the stop here, and we went out, we were stopped out at 1.06, and here we lost, and we got our stop loss hit. Okay, so I've got minus 50 pips here and 100 pips win there, so the overall is 50 pips. The exit, I'd put in here the exit. It counts me the let's change here the days. It turned into red because I don't have value, and it's calculating automatic swap value, but I changed this to the actual value, just it's automatic. And then the first TP was, let's say, $100, and this one was minus 50. So what do I have here? I see my stop was hit once, my target wasn't hit. I got stopped out on the trailing stop loss here. I see my risk now, it's at 0 because both trades were closed. Both my risks are 0. I got a win, I got a loss. My average trade days were 6 days, so I have one trade that lasted 2 days, one that lasted 9 days, and you know, this started moving. So I have 100 here win, and I have 50 here loss. And the more trades you put, well, the smoother this graphic becomes. So, and because I have 2 trades, this is not 100 because it's this minus the swap, the same here. If for some reason I change this, you see the values change as well, so everything is connected. And this is because I have 2 brokers. On the last one I didn't have I had the 2 brokers, but I was only trading one, and here I didn't have the graph working yet, but the difference from this end of year and the beginning of next year is the 2 brokers that I have. While I was doing this, I felt the need to hide a lot of columns so that I could make well, intermediate analysis. Sometimes these guys disappear, I don't know why. So these pink ones are the ones that are hidden, and they're just used to store values to make other calculations, like the graphs or other things. At the same time I do this, I also have another thing I'm doing for the last about 10 months with a friend. It's analyzing expert advisors. So this is just a small sheet I have because, well, overall I think it's in 10 months I think it's well over 40,000 trades that are analyzed. So that spreadsheet is about 80 megabytes or something, where here in a month and a half with these EA expert advisors, you have how many? Well, let's say more than 2,000 trades. So if you change that, if you multiply that by 10 months, the big Excel file is too big. So, and it had a lot of advisors, and I had to remove many. And you see here on top there are hidden columns that are from experts, from advisors that I quit because they didn't seem to work well. So this is something that I just keep running. I'm not looking at it all the time. It's on demo. It was on live for some months, but I stopped, and it's now on demo, and just want to know which expert advisors on which pairs, on what time frame, and what broker they work best. So you see mostly green because all the reds have been sent to the garbage, and I'm just experimenting with the ones that worked during the last 10 months and just trying to improve the settings. And so these are my two journals. I'm quite excited about this one, having the two brokers for next year, and started using it. So do you guys have any questions? I know this is not trading, but because I have this the link here and all the strategies, if I had let's see here, I had an ABC here. Lost the link. Shit. Let's see this one. I think there are 4 important things on the for me. One is check out your trade values, do the checklist, and then the overall results, and put the link there, and so that I can check out what happened, and why did I win or why did I lose, and well, was my target well positioned? Was it badly positioned? Was my entry good or bad, or what can I do to improve? So let's see the questions I have here. Yeah, Heidi. Well, you see, at the beginning when I started this, and the first one I had, I think it was very simple on the checklist. So my trading journal didn't begin as a trading journal. It began as a checklist. I don't have it here anymore. My checklist was 10 items. Let me see if I can find it here. My checklist was only 10 items, and I didn't record it. I just, well, it's on another computer. I thought it might be here. It's on another computer. No. Well, but imagine that at the beginning I had something like this. Imagine I had something like this, my checklist, and I know that at that time I needed, imagine I needed 4 things. I needed a Fibonacci retracement. I needed, well, it was a long time ago. I don't know what I needed, but I remember I had a 10-item checklist, and I needed at least 4 or 5 to go in. So my journal started with this, and then I erase. I put, okay, this checks. I have all the things checked. I go in, but then I started wanting to record it. So I started saving the images on MT4. And then about a year ago, I went in, I found TradingView, and which has been amazing, and I started putting the links there so that I can push the play button and see what happened. But then I wanted to, and when I started doing that, this checklist, and also as I'm reading books and as I'm analyzing my trades, I can say, okay, if I have fib retracement, that's not enough, so that's not a reason to go in. It works if I have plus this and plus this and plus that, and that's my checklist. So during the months, the analyzing past trades have made me change my checklist to the strategy I've been working with since probably the end of the summer. So answering your question, this journal gives me several things. It helps me analyze my trades, know which reasons I can go back at the end of the month or at the end of the year, and I want to do that by the end of next year. I can analyze, I know if I had a wave 1 with an inverted hammer on the daily, retracing at something at 60 something or whatever, if I have these reasons, the win ratio is something. If I have the same, and I can check out the loss ratio as well. No, if this and this and this doesn't work. Every time I traded some pair with some reasons, I lost. So, and even you can think, okay, every time I have a big win ratio, I don't get to the target, but I win. And you can analyze, like, every time I do a 50 pip stop, I get stopped out. I know this is kind of boring, but it really, I really felt some months ago that was important for me to have this to analyze trading as a profession, not just pressing buttons or going long or short. If you have a scalping strategy, this probably doesn't work because you have to put in a lot of values, and you have a scalping, you probably don't have, if you're scalping, you probably don't have time to fill in all the things and then wait. But that's basically what I do. I fill the stuff, I fill the areas, and sometimes I'll put a limit order, and it will not get triggered because my limit order will be triggered if, for example, if it breaks some high or if it breaks some trend line. And if it doesn't break the trend line, well, I don't get triggered, and then I come here and put cancelled, and this would not have happened. And it should be black. It's not black for some reason. I don't know why. So let me see. Okay, I get. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Heidi. I haven't gone into that. I want to do that, but I need more information. I think you're asking for some reason if I had divergence on MACD on the 4 hours. At the same time, I had a Fibonacci retracement and an extension. I mean, if I had like an ABC move hitting the 62, and on a lower time frame, it was at the 161.8 extension. You're asking, could I put in a big value, like my rating would go up 2 points if these four values were aligned? Is that the question? I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not an Excel guy, so probably someone that could have made this Excel thing in 1 or 2 days. This has been developing every month. It changes a little. I don't know how I would do that, but yeah, it's definitely something that I want to have is when, but I've been avoiding programming because I don't know how to program on Excel. I do have a friend that does that, but I'm kind of afraid that on newer versions of Excel the language will change. So I've been just trying to hide columns with simple formulas, but yeah, that's a great idea, and I'll be looking to do that when I have more probably by the end of the year. I'll have big thing with 12 months with the dashboard, and it's all being developed. But this is something I think it's important to have, using your strategy. Of course, is you can have here other items. For example, here on the alternative charts, I had different like point and figure charts, Kagi charts, Renko, and price break charts. So I still haven't started going into this. Like having my reasons on my strategy and then going to alternative charts to confirm, like the Renko or point and break. I think I even have Heiken-Ashi here. No, Heiken-Ashi are here. Heiken cross. Any more questions? This is boring stuff, but I think it's important. It really changed my my trading perspective when I started developing my own spreadsheet, and because at the same time I have my investments, and I can put everything here. I'm not gonna show because well, it's a real chart and it has real money there, and just don't want to show it. But if you guys ask me, I can erase the values and show. So I want to have an overall dashboard where I have my funds, investments, my trading, and that I can know at the end of the year how much I won or lost in each fund, how much I lost or won on trading, and have an overall view of how I'm doing each month and by the end of the year. Though with mutual funds, I'm not looking. I do put the value at the end of the month, but well, it's a long-term thing. It's going to be there for years. So if even if I lose 2, 3, 10% in 1 year, it's going to be there. At the same time, I'm starting trading and developing and improving my strategy. I'm also aware of the market and what mutual funds are working, which are not, and I was pretty accurate choosing the ones I have now, defining my risk profile, and so well, I hope this was useful. I know people that are starting, they want to look at lines and candles and moving averages and know when to get in and when to get out, but this, having a record of my wins and losses like this with the charts, and then pressing play to see why it went my way or why it didn't, it really has helped me to improve my checklist, and for the last, well, since the end of the summer or middle of the summer, I think I've been improving. You guys can look at my charts. I did an interesting analysis last week in 51 charts. I was analyzing, 8 were wrong. But that's technical analysis, and I feel I've got my technical analysis okay at this moment, and this kind of approach is the one that allows you to move from being a technical analyst to being a trader, because if you want to be a trader, you need to analyze your wins and your losses and your mistakes. And well, I started writing, don't do this, but then if you open the spreadsheet, it's there in red, all the mistakes you did, or not. Maybe you can lose and it wasn't a mistake, but you can learn from every trade, from the wins and from the losses. So I think it's important to have a journal. Feel free to ask questions now, or write me and ask questions. And the cell values and the formulas, well, they're there for this thing, but I was only able to get at some formulas by talking with people and if I want to do this, how do I do that? And hiding columns was an amazing idea. Somebody, why don't you hide columns with half of the formula you want to have? And so I started doing that, and you can see here on top I have hidden here, hidden here, hidden here, hidden here, hidden here, because sometimes the formulas just get too complex and it's easier to divide them. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoy that, and feel free to come back to me with questions, and I'll help you the best I can. Have a nice weekend, guys.